Stoked to be the Stokes with Brian and Ariana. It's about to get real, you better believe me. Just got married, trying to make it through life. See, with
faith, honesty, and respect, we'll get through anything.
Stoked to be the Stokes, yeah. Yes, we are. Stoked to be the Stokes, yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Stoked to be the Stokes with Brian Lamar Stokes.
And Ariana Stokes.
Today's title is First Year of Marriage Myths Debunked. That is a mouthful.
Yes.
Ariana named this episode, but we're going to go
Yeah, Brian chose
with
the topic.
It. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyhow, already using anyhow. Thank you guys for tuning in last week. It was so many comments and conversation within our DMs on the videos that we posted online. And it's like much appreciated because we're just happy that all the tea that we spilled about ourselves did not go in vain.
Yes.
So much appreciated. And then we also got so many comments about our little segment videos that we had on that, of course, we had to make a YouTube page now because everybody was like, we love to see your expressions. We want to know what's going on.
Yes.
I don't know what's so funny about it or what you want to see, but we're going to give it to you, huh?
Yes.
Ariana done put on a face for y'all today again. Huh?
That's
She done
for
did
you.
her hair for y'all again. It was for me?
Yeah, this is fresh out of the pineapple.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, we just appreciate everybody. So let's just hop into it.
Yes.
This is your first time tuning in. We'll start with something to chew on. So give us something to chew on.
Okay, so something to chew on. So like I said, Brian chose this topic of debunking first year of marriage myths because although we recounted what our first year of marriage was actually like, it was much different than what our expectation was kind of built up to be. So, one of the things we wanted to talk about was how a lot of times when people are newly engaged or even newlywed, the sentiment is kind of like, ooh, get ready because you know about that first year.
Yep.
So we were like, what is it about this first year? Like, what makes it so hard? We always hear marriages work, but people don't get too specific. So we looked up a few things, found a couple of articles, and just kind of compiled the ones that were, had a similar theme.
Yeah.
So one of the first things that I could relate to most was that it said sometimes it's difficult to be honest about how your first year is actually going, right? And so like a lot of people will ask you, oh, how's married life? Like we still get that a lot, I would say. How's newlywed life? How are you enjoying being married? Does it feel any different, right? Based on how long you've been together, it may or may not. So one of the things that the article is mentioning was that it can be hard sometimes to be honest about how your first year of marriage is going because you spent so much time looking so happy online. You're dealing with struggles behind closed doors, as you're adjusting. But no one wants to hear all of that, on the sidewalk as you're just kind of meeting them for the whatever random time. Right. So I feel like for me, like, was that an issue for you? Like feeling like you couldn't be honest when people asked you?
I think that it depends on who asked me. So if it was like somebody I'm close with, cool, like I can be honest about how it was going. It was never a time that I could be like, no, that's a lie. Kevin, I talked to Kevin. Kevin is one of our friends who got married as well.
Yeah.
And we talked about how y'all irk. I'm like, she is getting on my nerves. That was it.
Okay.
But like
Kevin is close. Like you wouldn't say that to like.
But not a random person. Anybody, how's married life? Oh, it's good. It's great. I don't know. I feel like people just use it as small talk. And so it would be hard to be honest if you're having issues with your partner during the first year of marriage to some random stranger. But anybody who was close, I didn't mind being honest.
What about the question about what were people asking a lot? Oh, does it feel different? Or what feels different?
Yeah, it feels like it feels different. It feels like, okay, you're locked in.
So, okay, when you say that, what does that mean? Because you answered that a lot more. To me, I was like, I said I felt more secure. Not that I felt insecure before, but it was like an unexpected bump to my level of feeling secure in the relationship. Like, oh, we're together forever. This is it. But in a good way. When you say locked in,
I guess it's
that
the same
sounds
thing.
like
You feel secure, and people in prison are secure in a cell, locked in. So it's the same thing.
Is that what you meant, though?
Yeah, locked in. It's forever. Got a life sentence.
So if people say, oh, does it feel any different? Now you feel like you're in
locked
chains?
In. Not in chains, just locked in.
You just said prison.
You feel
life
secure.
sentence.
Are handcuffs secure? Yeah, locked in. It's the same thing.
So how did you really feel?
Locked in. But not like in a suffocating way. Like
that's exactly how you're making it sound.
In a way like
You're drawing prison analogies.
Okay, but because it's a life sentence.
Why do you keep saying that? I'm borderline offended. You this was not
I'm gonna pass
mandated
out.
on
Hold
you.
on. It's just locked in. I feel like it's forever. That's what it is. It's not necessarily bad. It's just like forever. Like you get in an argument, you can't go nowhere.
Yes, you can.
Oh my gosh, I respect marriage. So like it ain't like I can run out. I'm out of it. We're done. I'm like it's forever. I'm locked in. How do you feel? Does it feel different? Yes, it feels like I'm locked in.
When you say that, you're okay. When I say with my tone, yeah, it feels like this different level of security and that this is like forever. And you're saying, yeah, I feel locked in. Life sentence.
Same thing.
It sounds like a judge
Is
just
a
hit
life
their gavel.
sentence forever or not?
It is, but life
It is
sentence
forever.
has a negative connotation.
When you go to bed, do you lock all the doors in your house?
Yes. I'm
Okay, do
talking
you feel
about,
secure in your house?
Yes.
Yeah, because you're locked in, secure. It's a good thing.
Okay.
Get
Maybe
over it.
I'm
Get
taking
over-
it personally. Because connotation wise, it
Get over
sounds
it.
like
Get over
clink
it.
clink.
Yeah, locked in, locked down. Yes.
Okay.
The men
I'm
understand.
gonna let it go.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe we need to just have an episode with just the men.
Sure.
Or
Sure.
something. Some husbands.
Yeah.
Or something.
Absolutely.
And then some wives.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to just let it go. Okay. One of the things Brian mentioned was that a lot of times we were getting forewarned about marriage as opposed to what we've been trying to do with when we have friends who are getting engaged, just, like welcome to the club. Marriage life is great. You're going to love it. It's so different, regardless of how long you've been together.
Right.
It's different. But I know that from a lot of people, it was kind of a sense of, ooh, okay, you ready? You sure you're
Yeah,
ready?
yeah.
I got that a lot. Like, are you sure you're ready?
I
And I'm like, what?
I didn't like that at all.
What am I supposed to say to that? Am I sure? Like,
Like what
does that imply?
what am I supposed to say?
yeah.
No, I'm not really ready. I'm just doing it because I'm pushing 30. Like, what am I supposed like? It's like, and I think that people are just used to saying that.
Yeah.
But it just shows a reflection of how your marriage has gone.
But even happily married people were saying that.
I don't know if people are really happily married.
Well,
Are they really happily married? If they're saying, are you sure you want to get married? Because we were great friends before. Well, not great friends because we were never friends. We were great friends who were dating.
Yes.
Before, and then
Yes.
the relationship just got better as we got to know each other. Then after we got married, it was even better from there. It wasn't like a whole like, oh, get ready because she's gonna get on your nerves and it's gonna be this and that. It just felt, like you said, secure.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing more things together. You're my wife, I'm your husband. It just was like we were just finding our rhythm.
yeah.
But yeah, so when we do have friends who are getting married or who are engaged getting married, we always talk about planning that wedding, that part. Like, hey,
Yes.
y'all, people might gonna act a little different. You can't control
Get
that.
ready for the planning process.
Planning of the wedding, but when it comes to the marriage, it's like, this is fun.
Yeah, you're
this is
gonna love
fun.
it.
It's work still, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's good to have a built-in friend always, somebody you can always go to and talk to, somebody who you
Like
can
a
walk
cellmate.
in. Yeah.
I'm trying to go along with your prison analogy. Locked in. Like a cellmate.
I wouldn't be sleeping with my cellmate.
You don't know. Depends how long the sentence is. You might.
Oh, okay. Okay. If that's how you feel.
That's not how I
If that's
feel.
how you feel.
That's not
Because
how I
now
feel.
I'm trying to give you a little of you, and you want to be trashy.
I'm trying to joke on your level.
Basuda.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
You know what? I'm on my own level. Anyhow, where was I?
Just securing our friendship, someone a always forever partner to do
Sure.
things
All
with.
that.
Yes.
You go on.
You worded it so well. I don't have anything to add to that. Okay, but one thing that we did not feel prepared for, I would say, and a couple of articles mentioned this, was the anticlimactic letdown after the wedding. So like leading up to the wedding, you have all of this planning, you have lots of things you're looking forward to, you have lots of like celebratory events on the way with if you're having like a bridal shower or a bachelor party or something like that. And then the day comes and it's great, and then the next day comes and maybe you're on like a mini vacation or like what we did, like a mini moon, but then you come back and it's the real world and it's back to your regular job, your
I
regular
felt that.
bills. Yeah.
I
And I
felt
was
that.
not prepared for that. And I feel like that was a stressor on our new marriage because we were having conflict just because we were mad that we were back in LA.
Yeah.
And mad that we had to go back to our jobs. Grateful for the jobs, but still like,
I wish we would have took more time off.
yeah.
I wish we would have took more time off.
But
Just
explain
like-
why we didn't, because we got married in Florida. So we took
Yeah.
a whole week to go there
Right.
and make sure everything was right and get married and spend a couple of days after, with ourselves and with
Right.
family. So and I think we had both just started our jobs at that time.
Right.
So to take a whole another week off would have been a bit.
I still wish we would have
Broke.
did it. But yeah, ooh. But we were gonna
No
get
PTO.
we got $60,000 from the wedding. So what We got $60,000.
We did not get $60,000
Y'all, we really
from
thought
the
we were
wedding.
gonna get $60,000 from adding up how many people
Like,
we invited.
mathematically.
If everybody, gives $100, $150, count a couple, bada bing, carry the one, $60,000.
Yeah, because we
Cool,
were like,
we're
we've
gonna knock
invited
this
this
out.
many people. Some people might not have it, but they might at least give 25. But that kind of gets offset by those who might give like 125 or something. So let's say like $50 average on person by the time we worked out the numbers. And we were just like, oh, we gonna bank. We started planning in faith what we were going to do with this large sum.
Yeah, we
of
was
money.
buying a house. We
and going on vacation, paying off debt. Like,
Ooh, debt was about to be cleared. The cars were about to be paid off.
I don't
Psych.
know how we calculated.
How would my mom say it? Soup your beans. I don't know what it means, but that's what she used to say.
Soup your beans?
Like, psych, not happening.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't know what we were thinking.
Yeah, but it didn't happen. It didn't go that way. What were we talking about?
I don't even know, because that was a whole different one. Just the letdown part after the wedding of getting back to reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and feeling like, okay, now the exciting part is over. We're excited to be newlyweds, but it was hard to find time to be excited because we were clocking in, clocking out, preparing dinner, cleaning up, going to bed, waking up, clocking in, like that's what it felt like for the first few weeks at least, probably. And then fighting about little things that we never even cared about solely because we were tired, therefore grumpy, probably frustrated that we still had debt and had not gone on a full honeymoon, just keeping it real. And then
That's real.
So yeah, it was a lot to adjust to. And maybe that was one of the other things we'll talk about later about like expectations or whatever. But so yeah, that letdown after the wedding is real. And I don't know how people can prepare for it. Maybe just
No, just go straight to your honeymoon.
but what if that's not in the books?
I don't know. Try to find some time. If you have like a year to plan the wedding, save up something to go anywhere, even if like you're getting married in Texas. I don't know. Find something to do and have a plan 3, 4 days after, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, because we had 3 days
after, just so like you can get to know each other. And when you go back home, have some days off at home.
Like some personal days.
Yeah, so take a week for that vacation or whatever it is, and then have 3-4 days to get it together, and then go back to work and do all that.
Because even if you do a honeymoon, it's still gonna feel like you're coming back now from vacation and you have to go back to work, which that's never a good feeling, especially if you need to. Like, it's not just for a cushion. Like, it's like, okay, we done traveled, spent a week across country in Florida, traveled back, and we still have bills that are waiting at the first of the month.
Yep.
Because we got married at the end of the month.
Can I tell you something? When we were on the dance floor dancing, you know how like they be like, you, not the first dance, like at the wedding, I was grooving, and then in my head I'm like, ooh, bills.
Oh no.
I was like, okay, let me just let it go. Let me let it go and go back to mom. Because I was like, yeah. Because the whole time,
so
no,
sad.
that whole week that we were there, I was chill. I was like, this is a great life, when you at your parents' house, you ain't got to pay for food, this and that. But there was a time that I was on the dance floor and I was like, oh my God, car note.
Really?
But
But
then I took it out, but I don't know what made me think of it. But I'm like, oh yeah, we got to go back. But I'm like, nah, it's all good. It's good. But it was one moment that I was just like, dang.
Bills did not cross my mind. Probably the only time I started getting sad was when we were like the day we were leaving to go to LA. And I think we were probably both at the airport about to cry. Because it's just that feeling of having been around our family for a week. Our families all in the same state.
LA family, Massachusetts family, Florida family, North Carolina family, wherever.
And now going back to where we didn't know how many months it was going to be till we saw our parents again. And, you know, it was just very like, but at least we have each other. But
at least
still,
we have each
what
other.
What are we doing? Yeah. So that was an adjustment. And I don't know if you have any tips as to how to prepare for that letdown after the wedding day. Please keep the conversation going in the comments and share, because we have a lot of newlyweds a lot of soon-to-be newlyweds who listen to this show, and I don't want to leave anybody without any kind of advice, but I don't have it. So.
Yeah.
But I like what you said. Schedule some personal days even when you come back, just to like play hooky maybe.
Yes.
Once a week for the first few weeks, just to have a day together, date night.
Because we did that though.
Yes.
Even at work, when we came back, it was like,
took a
3 weeks
personal
later,
day.
we're going to take today off. We have the time.
And that was amazing. It felt so good.
Yep.
We don't even think we did that much, but just to be off and enjoying each other was
like
so
on a
good.
Wednesday. Random.
Okay. The last thing was the admin side of it, which might more so affect the women.
That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Not true, because admin also includes merging. If you merge your like bank accounts and all of that, right? So, and which we had to do as soon as we got back, because a lot of the checks that were written out to us were like Mr. and Mrs. Stokes. And my bank is like, who is Mrs. Stokes, right?
Who?
How? So we had to go and make sure that we had something that showed at least one account that became a joint account. And I don't know if we had fully discussed that, if we were going to have everything joined together or one and one separate and then one together. But we brought everything to the bank and we brought all the documentation and we got at least one joint account so that we could deposit everything. But I think that for me, like I mentioned on another episode, changing my name was a process that I'm still in. And this is over a year later. Like, there's still a lot of official things I need to change my name on outside of your typical license and Social Security, any professional licenses if you have that, or passports, things like that, bank accounts, loans, etc. So I know some people who didn't finish until like 5 years later, but it's just really tedious.
You can't use your passport?
I can use it, but I have to use it as like, this is what I signed up for my flight under, and this is what I'm showing as my ID. Because now my ID says Stokes, but my passport says Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, so if I like book a flight, I have to choose which one I'm gonna.
So if
we go international, I have to book it under Smith.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just little things like that, just little tedious things that I don't know. I didn't really think about too much. I'm like, oh, we'll figure it out after the wedding. And then once we started, it was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot.
Yeah.
Taking time off work, like it's just a lot, standing in line. So little admin things, but those are just a few things when people say, oh, does it feel different or what does it feel like? It's great, but it's a little tedious. It's a little pressure to come up with some really good answer, even if we just had a fight and someone's like, oh, how's married life? We're walking into church. It's great. Thank you. I'm going to go sit down.
There have been so many times when we were going to church.
Fighting.
And then walking in.
Praise God.
I remember there was one time that I didn't.
You didn't win.
Remember, I'm not even going to talk. I'm not putting
No.
myself out there.
You started it. The rule is if you start it, you got to finish it.
Remember that time we were in church and I don't know what we were in church. We were in the car fighting about something, and then like you were like sitting like where we regularly sit, and I had to leave worship, and I walked past you and went to the back and went to go talk to Kevin.
Yeah, you were like playing with the kids and
playing with the
I'm
kids.
Like,
what is going on? Because this
trying
is not
to like,
real.
do you need anything before you leave? Do you want me to pray over you? Like, are you just not talking to me?
And Brian, you said you going up there singing for the Lord, and you acting like
And the Bible talks about that. Treat your wife right so that your prayers will be heard. It's paraphrased, but it's in the Bible. And I remember thinking, Lord, help him, soften his heart, because I just want him to be effective. And at this point, this ain't got nothing to do with me. He is in the wrong, because he ain't made it right with me. So yeah, I remember that.
Listen,
Petty.
I believe I've come a long way.
You have.
I am quick to forgive now. I am quick to apologize. I'm quick to move on.
You are.
But yo, I had some
You're better than me
ways.
at that.
I had some childish ways.
You're better than me, but yeah, that was the first time. And then one time, y'all, he was so upset because I had us running late. So we didn't have time to go home and him to get the change of shoes for the outfit that he was wearing. So he had slides and socks, like a knee
slides and socks. And
okay.
Listen, we were 8 minutes from the church.
8 minutes from
and
church.
she did not make it back in time. And she had 20 minutes
After
to go get
sound
it.
check.
And I was up there with
Why was
white
I running
socks
late?
on, and your stomach was hurting.
Oh,
I had white
you have a
socks
memory.
on and slides up there leading worship.
And then I came in and I put his shoes next to the stage.
Like, what am I gonna do? Bend over while
And
they're
the pastor
worshiping?
looked at me like,
Girl, it's
what
over.
is he supposed to do?
What are you gonna do?
I felt so
Granted,
bad.
the church is super chill.
Another fail moment where I was like, oh, I had one job.
I was like, your
One
stomach should have hurt
job.
in the car there with him and on the ride back. 16 minutes.
Yeah, so I thought you went up
Had
there.
me up there looking oopid stay. Oopid stay. Stupid in pig Latin.
Sometimes you
Oopid
need something to
stay.
keep you humble. Okay,
Huh?
so now we went. Come on. Going into the next segment, we wanted to go over, we said we're debunking myths, right?
Uh-huh.
So we have one segment for myth or fact, because certain things we came across, I think we may or may not agree on whether or not it was true for us or if it really is just a myth, maybe not in general, but for us, the Stokes marriage. Okay, so these are like some of the main things people say make the first year hard. And a lot of the articles made it sound like these are just things you can't avoid. You have to get over the hump and the awkwardness or the discomfort.
Interesting.
Yes. So the first one, never ending conflicts.
Yeah, that's true. It's always like some issue of something or figuring something out.
But so people are making it sound like the first year is just going to be so much fighting. I feel like the first 3 months, maybe. You said like 5 or 6 till you felt like you really...
Okay, I don't
felt
think it was
married.
so much fighting. It was more like you do stuff a certain way, I do stuff a certain way, and trying to figure out which is the better way, or
No,
which
we
way
were
we're gonna-
fighting.
Name what were we fighting
We
about?
just said we were fighting because we were
Like
so
what?
stressed about going to work and just we were fighting over little stuff.
No, but
I
that
count
was
those
like
as
I'm
fights.
talking about fights like me and you, like ugh, not us against a
who was
problem.
No, I'm talking about you and me about a problem that probably wasn't even a problem, but I felt like we fought a lot
Okay.
in the beginning.
No, I
So I remember
okay.
thinking like, dang, we haven't really fought like this in a minute. Like, why are we so?
Girl, we fought a lot dating. The first 3
Not
weeks
the
that
whole
we,
time.
the first 3 weeks of dating, Ariana wanted to argue so much. And then she admitted to me, I just, what was your? I'm a.
I don't remember.
Yeah, okay. You don't remember who you were?
I don't.
You changed. Old things have passed
Old
away.
things have
I bet nobody wants your song. No. She was like, oh, just in relationships, I'm just used to like, when you fight, that's how you love. Or when you,
I didn't say
no,
that.
No. It was something like that. It was like when you fight, that's the relationships I know, or something. I don't
No.
know. It was something weird, and I was just like, that's not. Oh no. And then you were like, yeah, because when I used to date somebody else, if I used to swear, cuss them out or something, they thought it was sexy or something.
Oh, that was like a long time. Yeah, I
I'm just
remember saying something like that.
I'm
I
like,
didn't think our
it
relationships.
ain't me. It ain't me, bruh.
Let me clear
I don't
something
want
up.
it. Clear
I
it
didn't
up.
think that that's how relationships should go, or that's what love was. I think I was explaining that I'm kind of used to being a little more high conflict, which I knew was not a healthy thing. But in terms of what I was used to getting back in engagement, like, okay, if I'm going to say something, you can say something back. I would say something and you'd be like, okay, so how can we resolve this? And I'm like, oh, you want to like have a conversation about it and not battle it out and then come back, apologize, and then talk. That is what I was thinking was going to be the norm. Knew it wasn't healthy. It's not like I grew up thinking like, oh, this is what love looks like. But I had developed some of those habits over the course of time. So yeah, that was something that in the beginning we did fight about because I was just
I used
a
to
little
put
crazy.
Ariana on speakerphone with me and my friend Champ, and we just used to laugh. She used to be going, oh.
Oh, yeah. My
Champ,
little my Grey's
it's a-
Anatomy
Champ,
monologues. Just
Champ.
dramatic. I just be dramatic.
What is going
Don't
on?
tell people that. They used to have me on
What is going on?
speakerphone. That's so
Speakerphone.
disrespectful.
I mean, you my wife now. Can't do nothing about it. It is what it is.
Locked in. Okay. Locked in, life sentence. But I do feel like for the first few months of marriage, I remember feeling like we were fighting a lot and it was over petty stuff. But it was like everything got on your nerves or everything got on my nerves. And we just weren't handling it well considering how well we communicate. I'm like,
Okay,
this is
that's
not
fair.
our norm.
That is fair. That's
I don't
fair.
have the
That's fair.
energy to be mature right now. I'm just tired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I would say that's, I don't know if that's a myth or a fact.
It
But
was
it
it was a fact for us.
It was a fact
Huh.
because this says you're still getting used to each other and conflicts might arise even on trivial issues, which was our truth.
Yeah. Okay. I'll
Okay.
agree.
Okay, so the second one, lack of romance.
Didn't have a problem there.
Yes, we did. I did. I'll speak for me.
We definitely did. I
Yes.
know.
But we
I
explained it
know.
last episode. A lot of it was hormonal related, and then also just being stressed and tired and dealing with the conflict. That's not sexy. People talk about, ooh, it's fun to fight because then you get to make up. I have
doesn't work
not
for us
really
at all.
ever felt that way about anything because fighting takes a lot out of me, and I don't think there's anything sexy about it. So, yeah, that I would say that is a fact. Maybe we're not quite debunking myths then, because right now we have.
I mean, is it true or not? I guess, but a myth means that I don't know. Whatever, keep going. I think it's good.
Okay, so number
People
three.
will make it what they want it to be.
Number three, selfish behavior.
I don't think we were selfish.
I
I don't think
cannot
I was
pinpoint it.
selfish.
Well, of course, you wouldn't think you were selfish. I would have to say I feel like you were selfish. You didn't think I was selfish at the beginning of our marriage? You didn't think I was selfish with
Nope.
time, wanting you to just be with me, not yourself, or wanting to do things a certain way? I feel like I remember you. The only reason I'm trying
When I
to
say
think,
I need space like that, like I wanted space from you.
yeah, but we weren't really like that in the beginning of the marriage.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. I just feel like there were a few times during an argument where you called me selfish because that's one thing that I really take offense to.
Oh yes.
And I
Oh,
don't
yes.
remember what it was
Oh,
about.
yes.
But
Oh,
I know that you
yes.
said it. So you
But
must
I
have.
don't remember. I don't remember like the specific arguments that
Probably
was.
because it wasn't true. You was just saying stuff to hurt me.
No. You had some selfish moments. Definitely.
Like what?
I don't remember because when I forgive and I throw it into the sea of forgetfulness. Something like my dad does, Father God. That's what I do.
Okay. So
You should be happy because
I
I'll
am
go
happy.
back in that sea and swim.
That's
and
not what your
get
father
them.
God does. Once it's gone, it's gone. That's not what your father does.
Okay, so don't play yourself.
So selfish behavior, I don't remember feeling like you were selfish.
Because I'm not. I'm very selfless.
Yeah, I don't
All
remember
my
feeling
life.
that way. I don't remember feeling that
You're
way. So
welcome.
I'm not going to dig for it. So, okay. Number 4, debt and financial instability. Unforeseen or previously existing debt.
Who got all the debt in this relationship?
We both do. We should.
No. Who got all the debt in this relationship?
Do you want me to pull up the statements?
Sure.
Because we
it ain't
both
me.
we
It
both
ain't
do.
me. Who-
Are you asking who has most of it
Yeah.
in regards to student loans?
No, who has most of the debt?
In regards to student, if we're categorizing student loans, that'd be me.
We're just saying.
Are we talking car payments? Okay. So what are we talking about? Because you're trying to play somebody on the mic, and I'm okay. Don't make it sound like I came in and brought you down. We both have debt. But
What are
the
you
debt,
talking?
the debt was discussed beforehand, even in premarital counseling.
Yeah.
I don't know if we necessarily came up with a plan to tackle it, but remember, a part of our plan was that $60,000
That we were going to get from the wedding.
So when we came back from the wedding and we started adding up what we did have, cash and check wise, and then we'll discuss the gift cards later. Cash and check wise, we were like, what is the most
Something's
wise
missing.
thing to do? Well, no, I was gonna say, what is the most wise thing to do? We felt like we had to decide between leisure and responsibility.
Yeah. I
And we
remember
thought we
that.
were gonna be able to do both. So we tried to split it, but I know for us, it was a little hard to not put everything towards responsibility and just start paying off bills and whatever else, because we felt like to put it towards leisure would be, I don't know, irresponsible.
Irresponsible. Mhm.
Even though it was given to us, like as in a celebratory, congratulatory way, but
Right.
at the same time, it's also to kind of get us started on the right foot, which to us made more sense to be like not debt free, but closer to debt free.
And that didn't happen.
Yeah. So we had to be intentional about like setting aside some money that we were just going to enjoy.
Right.
Which for us involved like usually mostly the gift cards, because we had a lot of gift cards to Macy's, Amazon, which is his favorite.
We just finished Macy's.
Just finished Macy's.
We're going on a year.
Yeah. So what we did was
You ever got a birthday gift from us that was from Macy's? It came from the wedding. Huh?
We went to Macy's and we kind of did a little shopping spree because we got an additional percentage off for the first 6 months of our marriage because we had a
Right.
registry with them. And we went shopping for stuff that we didn't get from our registry. So we got like our bedding, which for me was a great investment because it was quality bedding that we normally would not have spent that amount of money on. And every time I sleep in it and look at it, I feel like I'm in an Airbnb. I feel very happy. So that's one I would not regret.
And I didn't grow up with a down comforter, but if you're sleeping without a down comforter every night, ooh, child, the ghetto.
Oh.
The ghetto. I don't know how you do it. Because we spend over people's houses, and I'm like, whew, the ghetto. How do you sleep
are-
on
stop
this piece
saying
of
that.
paper? This is a piece of paper. This is a piece of paper. Get you a down comforter. Invest in your future. Invest in your life. Invest in your sleep.
And a duvet so you can wash it.
Yeah, and a
keep it
duvet.
clean.
Yeah. All of that because whew,
You
I don't-
get
I don't-
introduced to the
I don't know how
the
people
finer
do
things.
it.
You don't know
I
how
don't-
to
I don't-
act.
I don't know how you do it.
So we put a
My
little
pillow,
bit.
my pillows are Calvin Klein. My down comforter is Calvin Klein. All of it, Calvin Klein down. Huh? Go ahead.
Okay, your down comforter is not Calvin Klein.
Yes, it is.
Your sheets and your pillowcases,
What's the down comforter?
probably Macy's or Martha Stewart or I don't know.
Okay, Martha. Okay, Martha and Calvin. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So we put a little bit towards leisure, but a lot of it we really did put towards catching up or getting ahead with like bills and stuff, which it felt good in that moment. But I do remember there were times we looked back and we were like, dang, like what if we had taken a chunk of that and gone on a vacation or just put it towards.
Right, but our honeymoon is
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah,
Shout out to
it
Uncle
is.
Fred. Thank you.
Yes. So I'm just saying have a plan maybe and don't base it on hypothetical monies. Like have a plan. Have a
Yes.
plan that you can like realistically implement, because we felt not let down, but kind of like, oh, we're kind of back to square one
But
rather
I
quickly.
just want to make it clear, we were absolutely grateful.
Super grateful.
For everything that we got. I think our expectations were just so high.
Yeah, 'cause we ain't never
that
had a
when
wedding.
we ain't never had a wedding. So when we got, we're like, okay, this is great because this is fixing a lot of things, but we just thought that we would get more. And you think wedding, and then you think it's going to be a vacation lifestyle, and you can have all the sex you want and spend all the money you want. And it ain't that. It ain't that.
So I hope we don't sound ungrateful because we The gifts we got,
We're
the money
bomb-
we
the-
got, like we are using everything.
Yes,
everything.
yes.
So yeah, but just I know that we can't be the only ones out there who was like, oh yeah, we're for sure if everyone gives $20, well,
Mm-hmm.
that's not what happens. It's not what happens. So don't
And we still
factor
had,
in getting
but
as
we
much as what
still
you put
had
in.
the greatest wedding ever.
The greatest dream wedding.
We had a
Hands
dream
down.
wedding.
Can't tell us any different.
Dream wedding.
Okay, so the next one is, addictions of any kind. Which I was going to cross this one off because we don't really have an addiction issue.
I'm addicted to food.
To what?
Food.
Oh, that's
Food.
another episode.
It's another episode. Yeah, but food. Like
I
the
was
last
gonna say-
episode, we talked about me sneaking, going to Burger King and getting caught.
Because that cash out card will tell on you.
Ooh.
It'll tell you. I was going to say you're addicted to Amazon.
Oh.
And that was something I noticed. Because like I said, we had Amazon gift cards. And it was like Brian already had a plan for every Amazon
Shout
dollar.
out to everybody who gave an Amazon card. But let me tell you something.
And I'm like, wait, I like
no.
to look around.
And I gave you weeks to do it. The card was full. You have my account. It's on your phone. I said, hey, get the stuff that you want. Get the stuff that you want. Get the stuff that you want. And then the minute I started buying stuff and boxes started coming to the door, that's when her mouth started running. And I'm like, what's the problem? Because I gave you time. Because I knew me. So I gave you time and space and opportunity to get what you wanted.
I thought we were going to do it together.
No.
Like,
Emma,
let's go
no.
look and find stuff
Who
together.
wants to share their cocaine together? I don't want to share cocaine. I want to do my own. I want to do my own
okay,
stash.
so that goes under unrealistic expectations, I guess, on my part. Because I'm thinking we're getting money together as a new couple. We're going to get stuff for the house.
I understand,
as
but
a new
that,
couple.
you had $3,000 worth of Macy's card. Go to Macy's. That's
Not
your store because that's what
we.
But when you went there, you got the stuff that you wanted for the house. Sometimes you would go there by yourself and get the
No.
stuff, and then
I
I
never
would be
went-
there. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I
yes,
never
you did.
went, man of God.
Man, like woman of God.
I never went to Macy's by myself.
Yes, you
I
did.
don't even like shopping like that.
This is what I'm saying. Ariana does this thing that if I like something, then she want to act like she like it. So now she like Amazon all of a sudden. We only got, maybe $600 worth of Amazon money.
It's money.
But you got thousands of dollars worth of Macy's. Go to Macy's.
It's
You
not
don't
the
even.
same.
Yes, it is.
It's not the
What's
same.
different?
Well, Macy's, they don't have the same things.
What do
Amazon
you-
has
what
a
did you
wider
want?
selection.
What did you want?
And you can get it for a lower price because Macy's is a little bit expensive in some areas. So I'm thinking we're shopping for ourselves together. We're getting stuff to make our house a home. We're getting stuff we would not normally buy that we can get, things we can get on our own. Get them on your own. But with this money, like I'm not going to look and be like, oh, let me make an Amazon wish list just for me. When we had a whole Amazon wedding registry.
And we got everything off of it.
I suppose.
So you
I
should be
I
fulfilled.
just felt like I needed to hurry
Shout out
up
to
and
Aunt
find some
Rose
things
too.
to buy.
When I tell you Aunt Rose,
Yes.
Aunt Rose was sending gifts after the wedding was over, just to remind us that we were still married.
Yeah.
Shout out. She a real
Okay.
one. Okay, sorry.
Yes,
go ahead.
they all are.
They
Thank
all
you.
are. I'm just-
Because we
that's
know.
just shout out.
I know, but
Okay, Aunt Rose, Aunt Rhonda. Who else do you
Yes.
want? Aunt Rhonda's a real one because
Yes.
she can't. Cold
And
hard,
she's
cold,
listening.
Cold,
Yes.
cold hard green. That's praise God.
I'm
Go
gonna move on to
ahead.
next. 'Cause you saying too much for
Let me
them.
stop.
Okay, so addictions, Amazon. I didn't have any addictions.
Okay.
Okay. Domestic violence. So this one has never been an issue, but I left it on the list.
If y'all listened to the last episode, that colander, but this one, okay, cool. Go ahead.
I left it on the list because I remember before the wedding, I won't say who, but someone asked me, like, have you ever seen him angry? Do you know, do you feel like you know what he's like when he gets mad? Do you have any concerns? Because you don't want to be in a situation you can't get out of, or, with someone who changes. And I remember at first I was kind of offended because I'm like, Brian is not that type. Like, he is not the type to get angry and go off on me and beat me. But I do remember thinking when I was younger, and I would see, like, there was one episode of Oprah, and I think there was, like, a news story where, like, in both cases, it was, like, a woman expressing complete surprise at how much her husband changed after they got married and came back from the honeymoon. And then suddenly he became really controlling and aggressive and then eventually abusive and then tried to kill her. And I remember thinking, how do you know? I know that escalated quickly. I'm like, how do you know, or how can you predict? This is me, younger me, like in high school. How can you predict if someone is going to suddenly turn on you and become like a monster? But as I grew older and I started hearing more stories, I'm like, okay, a lot of times there seem to be red flags, right? Like aggressive or controlling behavior usually starts starts in one way, shape, or form, and then it kind of expands to all other areas. But I think when I heard that question posed to me, like, are you sure? Because you make sure that you know him all around, and that, I don't know if you're used to seeing him when he's down and when he's up, or when he's angry and when he's happy, and I'm like, no, I've seen him be all these emotions, and he's never been anything concerning, like violent or aggressive, or, we communicate. He doesn't just completely shut down. So, but I guess that is something that maybe someone who's more seasoned or has seen more would think to ask, just as a protective measure. But you know how the seasoned saints be. I'm sorry.
Oh, this
you
is
know
an older
how
person.
the
Got
seasoned
it.
saints be. Yeah, it was an older person. And I was just kind of like, that's a bit odd to ask. But I don't know. But no, we never had any issues with domestic violence.
It never will.
And I couldn't imagine what would have happened if we did or ever did. I just feel like I'd be on Snapped or something. You snap, I snap. We both snap.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that. When you snap, I snap. Just like that. Okay? So we kind of talked about it, but unrealistic expectations. Did you feel like you had any I had any that I did not express that led to any conflict?
I really thought that after we got married, it would be like a vacation. That was my expectation.
Like the rest of our lives?
Would be like a vacation. Like the rest of our lives would be a honeymoon. I didn't think about coming back to work. I didn't think about bills in the sense of like after like getting married. I just thought that it would just be like a wave of goodness and all of that. And there are a lot of moments in which we get that.
Yeah.
But it's still living real life. It's still going to work. It's still cleaning the house. It's still getting the oil change. I don't know. It's just still regular stuff.
Yeah. That's interesting. So when you say you pictured vacation, what do you mean? Like we come home from work and we just go and eat out every night?
Thought
like
maybe we would turn into a famous Instagram couple. Just make millions because we're married now, and
Oh, okay.
It's like
That's
that, or the
that.
Lord is like, okay, you found your wife, man. You want to be a worship leader? Bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna do this and put this together with you, and then now y'all just out there. I thought it would just like take off, like everything would just take off. Everything that we wanted would take off. You would something that you had written or did picked up, and it would take off. Like we were just in that.
We should save this soundbite for later, so that way when it does, we can come back to it.
Okay.
And that'll be a word.
All right.
We
Cool.
thought it was going to be in one season. But no, I didn't know that you thought that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what you were expecting. I don't know what I was expecting. I knew I had to come back to work, though. I knew that much. One thing that I did not expect that maybe I should have vocalized earlier, and maybe I talked about it before, was, so like I said, we had a lot of weddings that came like within the month after ours. And two of them required flying. So that was a portion of the wedding funds, what it went to. Traveling, but not for a vacation. And separately. And separately. So that was what I was going to say was my moment. Because I'm thinking, we're going to get to go to all these weddings as a married couple. And it was not that. And I remember for our friend Angela's wedding, I was super stoked for hers because, she's Ugandan. So there was going to be like a Ugandan ceremony a couple of days before the traditional American, I guess, ceremony. And then in between was going to be the bridal shower. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's going to be like a whole wedding weekend. I'm so excited. And then, like I said, once we counted the money, we subtracted the bills, we carried the one. It was like, I told Brian, I was like, so when should I look up the flights for? Like, should I look it up for Wednesday night or Thursday morning? Do you know what time the Ugandan ceremony is? And he was like, we ain't gonna make that part of the ceremony. And I was like, what? And he was like, now, girl, you good at math. You know, 1 + 1
does not
equals 3. You don't go in this case. And I was like, but wait, I told her we were going. I couldn't wait. I love like cultural things. I'm like, I want to see what this Ugandan ceremony is about. I want to be there for the bridal shower. I RSVP'd. It's all white, XYZ. And then he was like, it's just not feasible right now. Like, we have to make a decision because we still have 2 other weddings to go to, one to be in, one to travel for, and those 2 are on the same day. So that meant that we weren't going to be at those together. So I'm like, so we're not going to any of these weddings together as a married couple? Like, are you kidding me? And then what ended up happening was that he went to Angela's wedding by himself because by the time we looked up
that wedding
everything,
was lit too. Shout out to the Halls. They know how to throw a party. Ooh!
I enjoyed vicariously through FaceTime.
Ooh!
I was so disappointed. I cried. I'm like, I can't be the one to tell her. You have to tell her. Thankfully, he did. But I was just like, this is not what I imagined. How do we not have enough money to go to all of these weddings? But it really wasn't feasible if we wanted to continue to stay ahead, you know.
Yeah.
And we wanted to, you know, start the marriage making these right decisions and not going backwards just for the sake of showing up together, you
Right.
know. So that was a sacrifice we had to make that I was just not prepared for. And my expectation was like, yeah, we're going to have $60,000. We can go to all the weddings and sew a gift and stay a little bit longer. And, you know, that's not what happened. And then the whole debacle of him getting back from the wedding.
Because I used the buddy pass.
Trying to do the buddy
took
pass to
48
save money.
hours to get back. We got stuck in Kansas. Then we got stuck in Atlanta. Had to
was
spend
too
the night
much.
at a friend's dad house that we had never met.
It was a whole
got
episode.
up 4 a.m. trying to get on the buddy pass to Atlanta. Finally got on it at 6. Made it back home by noon LA time. Then had to get an Uber to come back. And I already had missed a day of work. That was...
And you were still wondering where the vacation went after the wedding.
What?
Hashtag stoked to be the stoked. Because you said you thought we were going to be on a vacation for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was no vacation. But the wedding was lit.
The wedding was lit.
God,
Yeah.
yes. So-
Oh, and the food was good. Shout out to the jollof.
Yeah.
My God.
But that made me
My
sad.
God from Zion.
Not going to
Hallelujah.
weddings together. Have we been to a wedding yet?
Yes,
Together?
we went to Rondi's wedding together.
We weren't married at the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
We just went to a wedding. We just went to a wedding, Ariana.
Oh, okay.
Whose wedding was it?
Oh, you want me to name a name?
Okay, no, never mind then. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry, never mind.
I mean, I remember going to a wedding. I can't off the top of my head think who, but I don't want that to be insulting to whoever's
Okay.
listening. I just don't remember, child. I don't know.
Who got married?
It'll come back to us.
Okay, go ahead. What's the next one?
All right. So the very last one, not spending enough time with each other. That's one that I would say is a myth. We have one myth out of everything.
Oh,
Because
not
we
getting enough time?
loved
Yeah.
spending time together.
Yes.
We had a whole thing.
Now I do.
We had No, in the beginning you loved spending time. I'll tell the truth, y'all. We were intentional about spending time with one another and not being out and about as much the first couple months because we both agreed we felt like we needed to kind of lay a foundation for our marriage and not just be out and about and making a newlywed scene. You know, we were like, let's just enjoy each other. Let's just stay and get to know each other more as a married couple because we already knew each other. But it is different. People who've been together for a long time, lived together for a long time, whatever, they have all said it is different. Some way, somehow, it is different when you get married. So we just wanted to enjoy that. So I would say that not having enough time together was not really an issue because we wanted to spend time with each other.
That
and
is
we
true.
Did.
That is true.
You remembered.
I remember now, yeah.
Leave it. Okay. So the last bit was a little bit of can you relate? Because I found some cute little snippets of people who were giving their description of things that they ran into during their first year or year and a half or some of marriage that they did not necessarily expect. And a lot of them I related to. So I wanted to ask you if you related to them as well.
Here we go. Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun.
So, the first one. This woman said after 1 year of marriage, the craziest thing about marriage for me is the realization you're never single-handedly in control of your life anymore. For her, that meant doing things like moving to a new place, quitting a job, booking a trip, or
Okay,
even
that's enough.
making
True.
a major purpose.
I can relate. We
She
both
said
can
it felt
relate.
like a three-legged race, and I thought that was a perfect illustration.
Sure. Absolutely.
Really? What kind of things did you feel like you...
Because you always want to quit your job and leave. You always want to move.
Oh, yeah. So
You.
things me. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. I thought you were saying you had some things and you felt like, oh, like I got to get her
Yeah,
agreement.
Amazon purchases over 100.
Amazon purchases over 100. Yeah.
What? That's my truth.
Is that the rule or...
Anything over 100, I ask you.
Okay. Because anytime I see something pop up saying your package is on the way, and I look at you like, what package? And you snatch the phone I'm like, why is everything a secret? Why can't you just be like, yeah, I ordered
But
some?
let's just make it clear. When
An
I order
addiction.
from Amazon, no. Let's make it clear. Every time I order from Amazon, is it for me?
No.
Thank you. I get her gifts all the time. I'm like, oh, she needs this. Oh,
Yeah,
she
things
mentioned
I
this.
need, not just gifts. Like, yeah, you give me things I need.
Yeah.
That's what makes it special because it's like very practical.
Yeah, so it's not always for me. Sometimes it's like a shopping thing. Even when I want to buy in bulk.
Yeah.
Like
You're
one
right,
time
the
a
face
package
wash.
came. I was like, the face wash I bought in bulk. The detergent on the sink because they have better smell, like with lavender and whatnot. I just buy it on
Okay,
Amazon.
you're right. My bad.
It's not always like I love when the box comes to the door no matter what it is.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm not always just like buying sneakers or something else for the studio or something.
For
Fucking
me,
house.
I relate it because, and someone mentioned it later in the article, it's difficult because we have different processes when it comes to making decisions. So me, I'm very quick. Like once I add up the parts and I find there to be logic, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a
Logic.
go. And now I have to convince this one, and he needs time to process. And he needs time to really weigh the options. And some things are time sensitive. Travel, flight prices go up and down daily. So I'm like, if I see the price now, we need to make a decision by tonight. And he's like, well, I'm not making a decision tonight. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Because single Ariana Nicole Smith, she would have been done made the decision.
She is no more.
She would have been done made the decision.
See your forgetfulness. Huh?
But Ariana Nicole Stokes has to wait for Brian to say, you know what? I think that is a good idea. No. That was a good idea. $500 ago when it was on sale. Now it's not feasible. That was like my biggest concern when we got married was like, is this going to be a forever thing? Like,
let me tell y'all about
him not
Ariana.
wanting
No, hold
to do
on.
something that I
Let me
wanna
just tell
do.
the people how she does travel. One time, Ariana's bag got lost, and it was like rarely nothing. I think it was a sweatshirt, maybe a hat, and some underwear, jeans, or something. They got lost in Las Vegas.
A whole carry-on,
She
yeah.
she wanted to come back to LA and to pick me up for us both to buy flights to Las Vegas to pick up her bag to make it a trip for the weekend to
A day
fly
trip, a
back
day trip.
here. Why? Why?
Because-
that's the kind of trip she like to do. Just weird stuff. Oh, there's a cheap trip to Paris for $500. Where are we staying, Ariana? Oh, they say that it's kind of in it, but you have to get on a bus and it'll take you from place to place to place. And then why are we going on it? What is the point of it? No, just because it's $500. Okay, and then what? How are we getting this time off of work already?
That's
You
his
just
main
left.
thing.
Like,
How are we getting time off of work? Like, y'all seen the memes. What happens if you drop dead? They will find someone to replace you real quick. So I don't like revolving my life around what's my job gonna say. I understand the logic
it's
in
time
it.
to get your stuff together and get your business together so
Yes.
you can work for yourself.
Okay,
so
you
let's
don't have
just
to
let's
convict
just
me like
continue to
that.
do that if you want to continue to go on vacation. And I'm sure
gonna stop with
shout out
this hand.
shout out to Nicole Walters. She ain't just going on vacation every other day.
Heather Lindsay is.
No. I'm with Nicole Walters. Y'all follow Nicole Walters if you don't. Huh? Because she's the truth.
You're right. You're right.
She's about her business,
Maybe
and then it's
maybe
vacations.
that's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
vacation
yeah.
mindset of our marriage. It's like, yeah, we're gonna be married and just, traveling the world and being married and just being a light all over the world. But it'll be like ministry, so it won't just be just for fun. Like, I think that was my vacation dream. Still there. It's still there. If I can explain the Las Vegas thing, y'all, it is so cheap to fly to Las Vegas. So much so that literally for both of us to go, and even had it not been a day trip, but just to stay one night, it would have been $22 each because we had enough points on Southwest to get there and back and to get a discount on a hotel, which is super cheap during the week. If you've been, then you already know it's like $30 or something. So for me, who was still relishing over the fact, I don't know if relishing is the right word, but getting over the fact that we had not gone on a honeymoon, I'm looking for any reason to travel. So yeah, I want to go to Vegas for a day.
But
Yeah.
and yeah, she wants. It's more like 2 days. So yeah, it's like okay, $22 for this, and then $75. But then those days of not working, how much money do you lose there? Did you add that up?
It was a weekend.
No, it wasn't, Ariana.
Oh, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I'm just talking. But my point was it was feasible because you spend that much money in a week or so. We would just had to not eat out or something for a few days, a few weeks.
As if she even eats home cooked food. But go ahead. What's the next one?
Just saying sacrifice. Okay. But yes, that is how I like to travel. So that's one thing I had to adjust to because I felt like I had to just kind of make decisions, get excited about it, and then hope that you were on board with it. And then a lot of times when you said no or not right now, later I appreciated it. But in the moment, I was very frustrated.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Okay, so the next one, this woman said, well, I kind of already talked about it, but that even after being together for a long time, marriage is still very different because you have a level of intention that's adding significance to every aspect. So when something bothered her, she would ask things like, well, what if he does this when we have kids? Or how are we ever going to take care of a large house if we can barely keep clean our apartment? And I related to that because there were certain things that I did not mind when we were dating. But then once we got married, I was like, this gonna have to change.
Oh, let me know. Like what? Let me know. Because I got some stuff for you. Go ahead. Let me know.
Well, since you mentioned me cursing earlier, language, choice of words. I won't go into detail, but choice of words. I was like, would I be okay with our kids learning to not communicate in this way, because you're a great communicator, but like even like joking in this way? Like I'm like, what if he tells these kind of jokes, you know, these kind of like throws his kind of shade around our kids, and then our kids get used to throwing shade and being flip at the mouth, and now you said I can't whoop them, so I got to get real creative. Cause they doing what they see their daddy do, you know, like those thoughts cross my mind, because I'm like, oh, we've been doing this together and it's all fun and games, but like that doesn't just change when you have a child. So what if we have a child and he's still joking like this, or, you know, and then our kids learn that, and I'm not comfortable joking like this in front of children, or children joking like this with me, but now they've seen their parents do it, so they're like, oh, my family's funny. This will, yeah, and that lady, da 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 da. And I'm like, what would I do? That used to really bring me a little bit of stress.
Don't try to make it look like I'm over here just dropping F-bombs.
No, I'm just talking about jokes and shade. I'm not even talking profanity.
I'm funny.
You're very funny.
People think I'm funny.
They're right.
My kids are gonna be funny. Y'all want to come at my kids? Know that you're going to get ripped.
No.
Old or young, you're gonna come for them. They're gonna know.
No.
They're gonna know. You're gonna know.
Are y'all praying?
Are you praying? Pray harder. Because my kids are going to know that you got to just be quick with it. You can't let them get you quick. Huh? Yeah. Let them know.
Not just anyone. You can't say old or young. That's not what we would teach our children.
No. If you're being disrespect, somebody disrespecting you, and they say a joke to you, you flip right back and you give them what they giving you. Absolutely. Absolutely. My kid, not walking around like no punk. No. Or you come and get me, and I'll show you. Tag team.
Okay. That's a good compromise. Wait, tag team.
Oh, I was tag teaming. That was my son and me, or my daughter and me, and they was tagging me in. Tag your man. Tag your man.
Okay, that I could possibly get with. I don't know about what you said. If you're being disrespected, yes, I don't believe in children allowing adults to disrespect them. But I've also seen some children take it too far and just be like, you don't respect me, I don't respect you. And I don't agree with that. It's not attractive on a child or an adult.
Listen, I've never been a full dad, you know? Mm-hmm. You know, I might have beat somebody's kids, but I ain't never been a full dad. But I'm just saying, I would hope that I would teach them enough to know that, hey, this isn't, something isn't right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I would hope that they would also be mature enough to just know not to engage anymore. Like, you can walk away. You don't have to always come back with something.
You don't always have to come back, but sometimes you got to bring it forward.
Okay. Was there anything that you were concerned with being a forever thing? Like thinking, oh, is this going to be forever?
In the beginning, you were very uptight.
I knew you were going to say
I mean, crack a walnut with your booty. Tight.
I knew you were going to say that's true. I was
tight.
A bit,
tight.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, I don't know how I can, but it would always like, ring me in. So it was like, it kind of, it works out, with corporate stuff and whatnot.
I have loosened up a lot.
Yeah, you've definitely loosened up. You are one of the funniest people
right,
I know.
Loosened up.
You can be right, and you can be what?
Alone.
Watch yourself.
Saying, I've loosened up, but I probably still stand by some of those things that I was cool. But I've learned to just pick my battles.
And I've tightened up, but I'm still right.
That's true. You
okay.
have. Yes.
So cool.
You have. Yes, you
Perfect.
have. Okay. And the last one. Oh, that actually may have been the last one.
Perfect. All right. Low high. What's your low high for this week?
Okay. My low was, well, I don't know, this has been a pretty good week, but my low was just dealing with our last apartment situation, just trying to close that chapter. That was kind of frustrating. So some of the back and forth we had to have, I feel like that was a low because I could tell that it bothered you. And in that same day, I was also bothered because I saw the previews and everything for Ava DuVernay's new feature on Netflix. New series on Netflix about the
When They See Us, right?
Yes, When They See Us. Thank you. And I hear it's very good. But I was very triggered, and it took me like hours to de-escalate. And so I felt like, I don't know, there was just a lot of emotions that day. So that whole afternoon/early evening was just kind of a low because I'm just like, where's the justice in the world? With our children, with our security deposits, where's the justice? And I didn't like that you were so frustrated because I just wanted you to be happy, and I hated that we just couldn't have a fix for any of the things I was frustrated about. So that was a low.
I think that my low is the same thing.
Okay.
These companies, these big companies, they absolutely irk me sometimes because they just don't do right. Like, you can read a contract, you can email them and screenshot the part of the contract, and they just don't respond when they're wrong. And that's what irks me the most. I'm like, give me the security deposit. I just want to close out this chapter. Seriously, just want to close out and just be done with you guys forever. But I also like just apologize. We're sorry that it's late. You're supposed to get on the 21st day. We're on the 25th, 26th, 27th day. And it's just like, okay, what is going on? Because people still have bills. Like, you know, like, and it's so much money in LA when you first move in. So it's like getting like a whole month of rent back. So that irked, you know, so much. But my high this week is that I'm officially starting work. They took so much time to get everything together because of the population I'm going to be working with, which is super dope. So I had to get the FBI clearance and the DOJ and all that with the fingerprints and whatnot and do the whole background check. So I'm glad that we're back to being a 2-income household, fully you know, like 9 to 5 money, because studio doesn't get everything. But
we gonna travel. I'm gonna book the flights. Gonna travel. Harmonize with me. We gonna travel. I'm gonna book the flights.
Because that's what's not happening. It's ugly. It's not just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. Not yet. Not yet. Okay.
We gonna stack. Stack.
That's my high. I'm excited, you know, just to, you know, get back and then look, meet the new community because in where we live now.
Yes.
What's your
I'm
high?
Excited too. My high, kind of on the flip side of what my low was. You know, we had the opportunity to meet a very nice officer this week, unexpectedly, where, you know, we had an issue. Do you mind if I share the story? Mm-hmm. You don't want me to tell it?
Don't tell the story.
I can just tell the officer part. I don't have to tell anything else.
Go ahead. You can say whatever you want.
Okay, so, you know, we have a great neighborhood. Haven't really met our neighbors, but one of the neighbors apparently felt like one of our cars was blocking a part of their driveway, so they had been like calling the police. And, you know, we're kind of like, who calls the police for something like that? Like, you don't just call the police. Like, that's not even safe anymore in most places. And so, and we don't know the police around here. So, you know, we were kind of like, the first day, Brian met the police, you know.
They were really nice.
They were very nice. And they were like, you're not in the way. It's fine. Like, you don't have to move it or anything. Then the next day, you know, we hear something outside, look out the window. I said, babe, I'm not trying to freak you out, but I think someone's about to try to tow the car. So we go out there, and sure enough, earlier someone knocked on the door, but we didn't open it because we didn't recognize who it was, and we thought it was for, you know, the house behind us. So we're just like, just leave it alone. But I guess they were coming to knock to let us know.
Usually the guy in the back has people working on stuff. So it's like, oh, whatever.
So that was supposed to be a warning, but we didn't open the door. So then we go out, you know, they're trying to tow the car and saying, yeah, we've been getting multiple calls that it's blocking. And we explained, hey, the police yesterday said it was not a problem, or else obviously we would have moved it. The officer
I said, look
was
up the
like,
report. He looks it up. It was there. He said, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then he was like, you know, he was just explaining, you know, what the law is. If it's even a little bit past his line, then whatever else. And the tow guy is like co-signing, and he's like, hey, if he wants to take it off the car, he could take it off the car, and I can tear up the ticket, but you still have to pay a tow fee. But you don't have to pay all the other fees that come with it being actually towed to a location and getting a ticket and everything else. So, you know, it was frustrating because we knew that the car was not blocking whatever. We were glad, however, that they were generous enough to take it off of the truck, to only pay the tow fee, or only charge the tow fee. And at some point the officer like left because he had to go use the bathroom, but then he said he was coming back. Brian did not believe he was coming back. He thought it was like a whole scam, like he's not coming back, we just have to pay the thing. He was angry. Now I'm nervous because y'all know how I feel about my black man going out into the world feeling anything less than cheerful and looking anything less than cheerful. So I'm like, let's just stand here in the house for a minute, okay? I'm praying. I'm like, okay, because you cannot go out there this mad, right? And I don't know. We don't know. And the officer seemed nice, but he looked like your typical officer, if that makes sense. So I was just kind of like, okay. So we go out there, and then, you know, the officer did come back, praise God, because I was like, I have a feeling he's coming back. He seems very genuine. Brian was like, he's not coming back, you know. And I'm like, well, you know, I might not know, but yeah. And so he comes back, and basically he was just saying how he really felt bad about it all. Had he known it was our car, he would have come and said, hey, here's what's going on, can you just move it? He wouldn't have had to call the tow people. You know, that's why the neighbor was trying to come and get us or whatever. But because we had not updated, I guess, our address, it was showing that it was from a different location. And he said sometimes people will steal cars and they'll just park it in a neighborhood, so that's why they come and tow it. And I had to remember the neighbor doesn't know us, so it's possible they just saw the car there and thought, oh, it's just someone who's parking here. I don't know that it's a neighbor. I don't know who to go tell. I'll call the police. Benefit of the doubt we're giving this person instead of being upset with them right now. And so when the officer was talking to us, you know, after a while, emotions came down. And then Brian was just like, well, it'll come back somehow. And he was like, oh, do you all go to church? And I'm like, oh, what's he asking that for? So we were like, yeah, we were believers, to go to church. And he's like, yeah, I just recently started, the church life myself, going to church. And that's one thing that the pastor said last week was, when you're giving, it will always come back to you. So when you said that, it reminded me of that. Now that made my heart smile, because I was like, wow, I don't know why, but you just started going to church. Praise God. Okay. Be transformed. God. And 2, you like, seeds are being sown in the sermon, and here we are watering them, by saying things that are sparking and bringing to your memory what you heard last week.
Yeah, watering
and just
them.
Being an example.
$200 worth of watering.
Yes. But it made me happy to know that there was this police officer who I easily could have profiled and been like, you look like the type to cause some trouble. And to find out he was really nice. We told him that we were new to the area. We explained to him everything. And he was just like, I'm a real person behind this uniform, and I understand you guys are good people. I'm really not trying to ruin your day. Like, I feel bad. Like, I had to follow a certain protocol, whatever. So for me, it was just encouraging, because sometimes I get anxious about police officers and black folks and everything else. So to meet someone who is saying that he's, getting into church life and, hopefully a believer and walking it out and everything, and to know, like, I felt from him that he was very genuine. I was kind of like, okay, got his name and everything, and it was just, it gave me some peace. And then earlier I had been thinking, like, I should really start reading the word when I wake up in the morning, and I did not that morning. And then what woke me up was the tow truck. But the verse that day specifically, I felt like was related to the situation we had just left, because it was from what chapter? Colossians 4. And it said, be wise in the way you act toward outsiders. Make the most of every opportunity. Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. And I was like, yes. Because you talk to someone the wrong way and the situation could go totally left. But he saw that was not the situation. He could read us, not just in our tone, but just in our spirit, Right. And there was another verse about, just spreading the fragrance of the Holy Spirit and wherever you go. And I love that verse. So I just felt like that day I felt a lot of peace. Granted, a lot of things happened that we were not expecting, like having to pay that fee, having to get up to a tow truck. Like, all of those things are stressful. No one wants to start their day like that. But y'all know my favorite verse, Philippians 4:8. Whatever is good, positive, praiseworthy, of good report, noble, whatever. Focus on those things. So I really had to choose to focus on those things, because I'd like to know that there's good officers out there who are also trying to follow the Lord.
I think I'm still getting over it. So I'm
I can tell.
All right.
But that was my high, that it didn't go left.
All right. Didn't go left.
And we're still alive.
Amen. If you're not following us on social media, it's at Stoked to be the Stokes, exactly how it sounds. If you want to follow Ariana, it's at Ariana Nicole Stokes. And if you want to follow me, it's at Brian Lamar Stokes. That concludes this episode of Stoked to be the Stokes with Brian Lamar Stokes.
And Ariana Stokes.
And remember, with faith.
Nope.
With love.
Faith.
Wait. And remember, with love,
faith,
honesty,
and respect,
we'll get through anything. See you next Tuesday, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.